My name is Andre, and if there's one thing I've learned in the past year, it's that life has a cruel way of breaking you down, only to test whether you'll stand back up. I lost my wife Elena to a car accident just over 12 months ago. One moment she was there, smiling, laughing, alive, and the next, she was gone. The weeks that followed were a blur of funeral arrangements, condolences, and the unbearable weight of explaining to my 8-year-old daughter, Sophia, why her mother wasn't coming home. For months, I lived on autopilot, waking up, going to work, feeding Sophia, and collapsing into bed with a hollow ache where my heart used to be. Then Marina came. She joined our company as the new head of HR. At first, she was nothing more than a pleasant distraction, casual chats in the cafeteria, the occasional laugh after long meetings. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, she became more than that. She was beautiful, confident, and had this way of making me feel like I wasn't broken beyond repair. Before I realized it, Marina was spending nights at my place. Then weeks. Then she moved in altogether. I told myself it was the fresh start Sophia and I needed. But I was wrong. It started with subtle things, Sophia withdrawing, her once bright chatter replaced by quiet glances at the floor. I told myself she was still grieving, adjusting to change. I wanted to believe that. Then, one afternoon, she walked into the living room, her small frame trembling, her eyes red from crying. "Dad, can I talk to you?" she whispered. I'll never forget the way my heart sank when she said the words. "It's about Aunt Marina, she hurts me." At first, I couldn't breathe. I wanted to dismiss it, call it a misunderstanding, a bad dream, anything but the truth. But when Sophia rolled up her sleeves and I saw the bruises, tiny fingerprints etched into her fragile skin, my world tilted. I promised her I believed her. I promised her I'd protect her. And yet, part of me cowered that I still needed proof. That night, I made a decision that would change everything. I would pretend to go to work. But instead, I'd stay hidden in the shadows, in the closet of my own daughter's room. I needed to see it. To hear it. To know once and for all the truth about the woman I thought I loved. Because if Marina really was hurting Sophia, then I had invited a monster into my home. And I would stop at nothing to protect my little girl. The next morning, I woke before dawn, my stomach twisted in knots. I moved through the apartment quietly, every step heavier than the last. Sophia was already awake, sitting cross-legged on her bed, clutching her stuffed bear to her chest. "Are you sure about this, Dad?" she whispered, her voice trembling. I knelt beside her and brushed the hair from her face. "I don't want you to be scared, sweetheart. But I need to see it with my own eyes. If Marina tries anything, I'll be right there. The second you need me, you just say the code word." Her lips quivered. "Strawberry ice cream." "That's right." I kissed her forehead. The moment I hear those words, I come out. By the time Marina arrived, my heart was pounding like a drum in my chest. I greeted her at the door, pretended to gather my things for work, and kissed Sophia's head. "Remember," I whispered, "I'm always nearby." Then I slipped out the front door, waited in the hallway for a count of 60, and eased it back open. Quiet as a shadow, I crept into Sophia's room and slid into the closet. I left the door cracked open just enough to see. The closet was dark, suffocating. My knees pressed against old boxes, the air smelled faintly of dust and laundry detergent. But I didn't move. I hardly breathed. From the kitchen, I heard Marina's voice, sweet, syrupy. "Sophia, darling, eat your cereal. You'll need energy for school." For a moment, I thought maybe, just maybe, I'd made a terrible mistake. Maybe Sophia had misunderstood. Maybe Marina was innocent. Then the shift came. Her tone dropped, sharp as glass. "Don't just sit there staring at the bowl. Eat. Do you hear me?" Silence. Then the sound of a chair scraping harshly against the tile. I pressed my eye to the crack in the closet door. From where I sat, I could see Marina standing over Sophia at the table. Her hand gripped the girl's shoulder too tightly. "Do you know what your problem is?" Marina hissed. "You're weak. Pathetic. Always crying for daddy like a baby. Do you think he'll love you if you keep acting like this? Sophia's head hung low, her shoulders trembling. Marina leaned closer, her smile venomous. Let me tell you a secret, he only keeps you around because he pities you. If it weren't for me, he'd have sent you away already. My hands clenched into fists inside the dark of the closet. Every fiber of me wanted to burst out and rip her away from my daughter. But I stayed frozen because I needed her to show her true self. I needed undeniable proof. Then, without warning, Marina's hand shot out and yanked Sophia's hair back so hard that she cried out. Don't you dare tell him what I say to you, Marina hissed, her eyes wild. If you do, I'll lock you in that closet all night, and Daddy won't hear a thing. The closet. My closet. I felt the world tilt under me, fury coursing through my veins. And then, like a whisper from the heavens, I heard Sophia's tiny voice, trembling but strong enough to cut through the tension. Strawberry ice cream. My signal. It was time. The moment the words strawberry ice cream left Sophia's lips, something inside me snapped. I shoved the closet door open so hard it slammed against the wall. Marina froze mid-motion, her fingers still tangled cruelly in Sophia's hair. Her eyes widened as she saw me step out of the shadows. Andre, she stammered, her face pale, her hand dropping from Sophia's head. What are you? I was here, I said, my voice low, shaking with fury. The whole time. I heard everything. Sophia scrambled out of her chair and ran into my arms. I scooped her up, holding her tight against my chest, her little body trembling. She buried her face in my shirt, sobbing. Dad, I told you. I told you. You were right, sweetheart, I whispered, stroking her hair. I believe you. I always did. Marina took a step back, her hands raised as if to calm me. Andre, you don't understand. She's manipulating you. She's making this all up. Stop. My voice was sharp enough to cut her off. Don't you dare. I saw you. I heard you. Every word. Every threat. Her face twisted, desperation seeping through her mask of innocence. Andre, you have to believe me. I was frustrated. She's been so difficult, and you're never around, and I. You think frustration gives you the right to hurt my child? I roared, my anger spilling over. To make her feel worthless? To threaten to lock her in a closet? The mask slipped completely then. For the first time, I saw Marina's true face, cold, calculating, cruel. She didn't even bother to deny it anymore. You don't get it, do you? She spat. That girl is holding you back. Always crying, always needing you. She'll never let you move on. And if you keep coddling her, she'll ruin your life, too. My blood ran cold. I set Sophia gently down behind me and stepped forward, my fists clenched. Say one more word about my daughter. Just one more. Marina sneered, her voice dripping venom. You're pathetic, Andre. You think she's some angel? She's a parasite. And one day, you'll thank me for trying to toughen her up. That was it. I surged forward, pointing to the door. Get out. Now. Marina laughed bitterly. You think you can just kick me out? After everything I've done for you? After everything we've shared? You heard me. My voice was ice. Out of my house. Out of my life. If you ever come near my daughter again, I swear to God, Marina, you'll regret it. For a moment, she stood there, eyes narrowed, breathing hard. Then, without another word, she grabbed her bag from the floor and stormed toward the door. She paused at the threshold, turning back with one last look of rage. You'll regret this, Andre. Both of you. The door slammed behind her, rattling the walls. Silence fell over the apartment, broken only by Sophia's sobs as she clung to me again. I knelt down and held her close. She's gone, sweetheart. She won't hurt you ever again. I promise. But as I whispered those words, a chilling thought gnawed at the back of my mind. Would Marina really just walk away that easily? Or was this only the beginning? For the first time in months, the apartment felt safe again. Marina was gone, the silence heavy but strangely comforting. That night, Sophia fell asleep curled against me on the couch, her small hand gripping my shirt as if afraid I'd vanish. I stayed awake long after she drifted off, staring into the darkness. I should have felt relief, but instead, unease gnawed at me. Marina's last words echoed in my mind. "You'll regret this, Andre. Both of you." The next morning, I made calls, first to my boss to take time off, then to a lawyer, and finally to Child Protective Services. I wasn't taking chances. If Marina tried anything, I wanted the law on my side. But it didn't take long for her to strike. By the third day, I came home to find a folded note shoved under my door. The handwriting was unmistakable, sharp, elegant, Marina's. "You think you can keep her from me? I won't let a spoiled little brat ruin what we had. Watch your back, Andre." My blood ran cold. I tore the note into pieces, but the fear lingered. That night, I double-checked every lock, every window. I kept Sophia close, telling her it was just in case. She didn't need to know the truth, that Marina wasn't just cruel, she was dangerous. Then the phone calls began. First, it was silence. The phone would ring in the middle of the night, and when I answered, nothing but breathing filled the line. Other times, a woman's laughter. Marina's laughter. Sophia grew more anxious, clinging to me even in the daytime. "Dad, what if she comes back?" she whispered one evening, tears brimming in her eyes. "She won't," I lied, though my heart pounded with doubt. "I won't let her." But then came the moment that confirmed my worst fears. It was a Saturday afternoon. Sophia was in her room drawing while I made lunch. The doorbell rang, and instinctively, I froze. Through the peephole, I saw no one. But when I opened the door, a small box sat on the mat. I bent down, wary, and opened it. Inside was one of Sophia's stuffed animals, the little white bunny she kept on her pillow every night. Its head was torn off, seams ripped, stuffing spilling out. My stomach dropped. Marina had been inside our home. Sophia screamed when she saw it, clutching my arm in terror. I hugged her close, every muscle in my body trembling with rage. That night, as I held my daughter tighter than ever, I realized something chilling: Marina wasn't going to stop until she broke us. And if I didn't act fast, she just might succeed. I barely slept after the stuffed animal incident. Every sound outside made me jump: the creak of pipes, the hum of the fridge, even the wind against the windows. Sophia barely spoke anymore. She followed me everywhere, clutching my hand so tightly her small knuckles turned white. This wasn't living. It was survival. I knew I couldn't just wait for Marina's next move. I had to end this. So, I set a trap. The following evening, I left the apartment lights on, placed Sophia's drawings on the table, her stuffed bear on the couch, little signs of normalcy. But before stepping out, I whispered to her, "Stay in the bedroom. Don't open the door until I come for you. Do you understand?" Her wide eyes filled with fear, but she nodded. Then I hid. Not in the closet this time. This time, I crouched in the hallway by the door, phone in hand, ready to record. Hours passed. My legs ached, my heart pounded, but I stayed still. Then, at 1:17 a.m., the lock turned. The door creaked open, and Marina slipped inside. She looked different now. The sweetness she used to wear like a mask was gone. Her face was sharp, twisted, eyes gleaming in the dim light. She moved quietly, almost predator-like, scanning the apartment. Then she whispered to herself, "Let's see if little Sophia learned her lesson." My blood boiled. She started toward the bedroom. That's when I stepped out of the shadows. "Looking for someone?" Marina froze, her head snapping toward me. For a moment, shock flashed across her face, then fury. "Andre," she hissed. "You don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly." I held up my phone, the red recording light blinking. Every word you just said is recorded. Every threat. Every step. Her eyes widened. You wouldn't. I already did, I snapped. This goes to the police. Tonight. Her mask shattered completely then. She lunged at me, nails clawing, a wild snarl ripping from her throat. I shoved her back, my rage boiling over. You laid a hand on my daughter, I growled, and I swear to God, Marina, you'll never get the chance again. The noise woke Sophia, who peeked from the bedroom doorway. When she saw Marina, she screamed, a sound that tore through me. Marina's eyes flicked toward her, and for a split second, I saw the monster she truly was. That was enough. I grabbed her wrist, twisted it behind her back, and pushed her toward the door. She fought, cursed, spat at me, but I held firm. With one hand I dialed the police, my voice steady as I told them everything. By the time the flashing red and blue lights filled our apartment windows, Marina was no longer the woman I once thought I loved. She was a stranger, dangerous, unhinged, and finally exposed. The officers hauled her away, her shrieks echoing down the hall. Sophia clung to me, shaking, her tears soaking through my shirt. It's over, sweetheart, I whispered, kissing her hair. She can't hurt you anymore. For the first time in weeks, I felt a strange, fragile relief. The nightmare was ending. But as the police car pulled away, Marina's eyes locked with mine through the glass. And in that last look, there was no fear. Only a smile. A smile that whispered one chilling promise. This isn't over.